If you're a person who can turn up on time with a firm handshake, who is genuinely competent, who doesn't lie to anybody, you're going to be fine. You're never going to starve. You're always going to be able to make good money if you're a genuinely honest, hardworking person. I've never met a honest, hardworking person who will be there at 9 a.m. like you asked them to be, who completely failed. So I think a lot of people who are still out here failing, they have a bunch of excuses. And yeah, we talk about how hard it is, and it's true. But if you're genuinely about it and you can find somebody with that star factor and align yourself to them, I think you can make money no matter who you are. I think you have to make God happy. Let's imagine God as a man. If I'm a man and I have 10 people who work for me or 10 children, my favorite one is to be the one who does the things that I know or who acts in a way that I am happy with, right? So if I had 10 children and they're all acting different ways, my favorite one's gonna be the one that adheres to the rules and adheres to the tenets that I've set out. If I say you should act this way and you do act that way, then he's gonna be my favorite child. I'm God's favorite because I act true to God. And I act true to God because I know I'm genuinely a good person. I know I'm a good person. I know I live with a pure heart. The reason I'm God's favorite is because I'm out here doing exactly the things I said earlier in this stream. I wake up, I'm on time with a firm handshake. I stick to my word. I work hard. I give my best at everything I do. I'm honest. That's all it takes to be God's favorite. I just don't do bad shit to people who I love and care about. The most disgusting thing, the thing that God is most unhappy with, is treachery. Because treachery, the reason it is so frowned upon in the Bible and the Quran throughout all of history, traitors were hated the most and had the most heinous and disgusting punishments, is because treachery can't be stopped. I'm a big, dangerous man. If I see my enemy on the street, I'm going to know what's going to happen. I'm going to be ready for it. If Wallace decides to sideswipe me, I'm f***ed. Treachery will take out anybody. I sit here and look at every decision I make, and I genuinely sit and think I am being analyzed and I'm being watched by another power. Is this going to benefit me in the long run? That's why I don't do bad shit. So I'm God's favorite because I act in a way that God looks to me and he's proud of me. God looks to me and goes, I made men to be X, and Andrew's doing what he's supposed to do. Andrew's trying to become the strongest, richest, most important, most competent version of himself. He's trying to educate and inspire other men to do the exact same thing. I like Andrew. Look at this other man I made. He's a fat piece of shit. He's playing video games and smoking weed. I don't like his ass. That's why he's unlucky. I'm lucky. God loves me. If I got a car crash, which is never gonna happen, it's never happened in my life, there's no way God let me die. He'd be like, nah, not Tate. Come on, bro, get up. That's just how it is. Because I've done too much good. You're God's favorite because you decide to be. You have to show him that you're out here doing the things you're supposed to do. Did God create man for you to sit on your ass and be lazy? Did God create man for you to be weak? Is that why he made you? If you think it is, then you could sit there and suffer the consequence of being a lazy, being unlucky your entire life. But if you understand that that's not why he made you, that's not why you're here, that you have a duty, a masculine imperative to be the best possible version of yourself, then God's going to be happy with you. That's how it works. Yeah. People decide to be honest. Nobody is destined to be anything they don't decide themselves to be. If you're truly uncomfortable with something, you can't exist there. When I was a pawn, I did my job to the best of my ability, but let's change it. When I was a brokey, I knew I was a brokey. Trust me, I knew very well I was a brokey. My life reflected it, as did my bank balance. But I was uncomfortable in it to a position where I couldn't sleep at night. I had sleepless nights just laying there thinking, how the fuck are people buying Ferraris? I can't pay rent. This doesn't make sense. I have to escape. I can't live this way. If you're genuinely uncomfortable, if I set you on fire, you're going to stand up. You're going to move. If I set you on fire and you're chilling, then you can't say that the fire's burning. The people who are broke, and they have been broke for years and years and years, and they're still sleeping in late playing video games, are comfortable enough being broke to stay broke. I couldn't be comfortable in that position. If you put me in a position, I'm so desperately uncomfortable. We can change it from money to something else. If I was morbidly obese, it wouldn't last long. I'm telling you now. With me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I'd be mad at myself. I'd be angry. I'd be self-conscious. I'd fix it. The person who's been morbidly obese for 10 years and goes, I'm trying, you ain't trying. You are very comfortable and very happy to be who you are.
Facts.
So anybody who's a pawn is comfortable and happy being a pawn. Otherwise, they wouldn't be one anymore. They'd at least have moved up. People say I don't have motivation. I never had motivation. I had a burning desire to fix my life. I didn't need to wake up and get I didn't have to watch YouTube to want to make money. I was like, I wanted money. Like, I didn't need YouTube to tell me, bro, you're broke. You have to look in the mirror and decide who you really are. When's the last time you've looked in the mirror, looked yourself in the eyes and say, am I really who I think I am? Am I really who I say I am? Or am I full of shit? Am I repeating the shit I hear on YouTube and the things I hear in the rap movies? Am I really that guy? Am I really a gangster? If he really pointed a gun in my face, am I really going to tell him to get? Am I really a tough guy? What have I been through? How many times have I actually tested myself? Am I actually about it? You need to look in the mirror and understand who you truly are. Because if you're truly the man you think you are, you're going to become that guy. I say all the time about the best thing about being a man is you can build yourself to be whoever you want to be. When I didn't have shit, I knew I wanted to be a big, dangerous kickboxing guy with the fastest car, a big ass compound with armed guards. I knew what I wanted, and here it is. Some people message me saying, "Hey, my family's not supportive of what I want to do, and my family don't believe I should try and do this, or my family thinks I should go down this route." And my answer has been pretty generic so far, but it seems to be effective. I think the number one thing that especially parents are worried about when they see their children is they don't like the idea of seeing them be lazy. So I had people message me, go, "I don't want to go to college. My parents want me to go to college." I say, well, have you sat down with your parents and explained to them what you're going to do with all those years that you stay? Have you sat there and said, look, I'm not going to go to college. Here's what I am doing. I'm spending 6 hours a day doing this, 2 hours a day doing this, 1 hour a day in the gym. Across the next year, I'll be doing this apprenticeship. I'll get this certification. I'll be able to go here and do this. I'm going to get this passport. I'm going to go here. Or if you just said, I don't want to go to college and turn the TV back on. Well, why do you think they want you to go to college, right? It doesn't matter what you do. I think if you're a child and you explain to your parents or all the people who love you or people around you are trying to push you in a certain direction and say, look, I have a plan. This is what it is. I have a finite amount of time on the planet. I'm going to dedicate it towards X. I'm going to make sure this is successful. I'm going to do it right. And you show competence and you show that you genuinely give a shit and you're up before them and go to sleep after them. They're not going to hate on anything you do. I think a lot of the people are saying, oh, my parents are trying to suppress me. No, what your parents are trying to do is inspire you to do something because you're a lazy fuck and you're doing shit. And I completely understand that if you have a teenage son sitting around smoking weed, you want to send his ass to college. Like, what else is he going to let him do? Sit there and smoke weed? If you were genuinely up grinding, even if you weren't making money, if you were in the gym every day and you're a bodybuilder and you look like a tank, they'd still be a bit like, oh, he's doing something. I mean, like, at least he ain't just sitting around, right? The man, you have to sit there and say, I have to remove all the cheap dopamine, all the cheap replacements for what I'm actually looking for. I said this to Tristan the other day. The reason I don't play video games is not because I'm anti-video games. It's because they look fun as fuck. I see these video game videos and I'm like, that looks bad at what? Grenades.
Call of Duty.
Well, he's running in and out. It looks fun. And that's why I'm not going to play that. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up good at that shit. Because I'm me. And I end up spending so many hours becoming good at something and believing that it matters when it doesn't. If I want to feel dopamine for being a badass, I'm going to do it the old school, hardest way. Bench press. That's not as fun, right? But at least, if I really want to beat, me and Tristan have our own personal bench records in the house. I'm going to try and beat Tristan's record. And you have to stop chasing all the cheap dopamine, the cheap bullshit, and go back to the hard shit.
Nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you.